The third key issue to think about when it comes to breastfeeding is kind of the nuts and bolts of breastfeeding, and I've distilled it down to basically 2 key points. And these are really the keys in breastfeeding. I think if you talk to nurses and lactation consultants, they'll tell you this too. The keys to breastfeeding are proper latching and proper positioning of the baby so that you get a proper latch. If the baby is positioned so that it latches on properly, then you're gonna have a much easier time of it. You're far more less likely to have sore nipples because it turns out, as I understand it, that sore nipples or even any kind of pain associated with the baby suckling on the nipple doesn't have to do with the sucking itself, no matter how forcefully the baby is doing that. It has to do with the improper or a poor positioning and an improper latch. So, sore nipples or pain from breastfeeding because your nipples are sore, or mom's nipples are sore, that can get in the way of breastfeeding. It can be an obstacle. It could be something that interferes with that. So learn as much as you can. Obviously, you're not going to be the one doing it, but heck, maybe you can even tell mom something about what you learn and help her learn something new that she may not have known before. At least, attend the breastfeeding classes with her or study it yourself so that you are partnering with her in the process and making her feel like, she's not alone in this and that you're interested in this stuff too. And I will say, look, it's fairly interesting stuff if you want it to be. I know it was for me, even though I'm not the one breastfeeding. I think it's just interesting to understand how the body works and, the miracle of the milk production and, how, sometimes, even just the proximity of the baby to mom or thinking about the baby will trigger the letdown, which is the flow of milk coming down through her breasts, even if the baby's not even there. It's kind of like when they say that, sometimes looking at food, we don't know it, but the stomach acids are already being kind of activated just by looking at food because, the gastric juices, we're preparing those gastric juices to digest the food. Even if we don't end up eating it, the body's gearing up for it. Well, the body does the same thing when it comes to breast milk. So learn and just look into latching and positioning. Good reason to invest in a breastfeeding pillow, as I mentioned in a prior video, because if it helps with the positioning, then it's going to help with the breastfeeding. It's not rocket science. It's not something that's going to take you days or weeks, but at least you'll know about those 2 key points, which are really the basics. And then when you're the partner in charge or the chief lieutenant helping out, you'll be able to bring some of that knowledge to bear on the breastfeeding experience, and I think mom will appreciate it.